Homesteader family, welcome back to the journey. I made a couple trips today. I'm not going to show you yet. I'm going to show you some other stuff first, what I've been doing. So, Lisa left today to go to Colorado. I'm trying to get out of Colorado. She went to Colorado. One of her friends had a timeshare, so she went to go stay in a timeshare and check out Colorado for the first time. And me, I went ahead and got some stuff. Let me flip camera around. So I went over to the Homestead. I brought all my extension ladders. I'm going to try to get that sign down. And these look rough. They're not rough. These were bought last year. They just sat out in the weather. These didn't roll over, but those are rolled over. You can see the bottom small one is still green. But I've got, like I said, about 10,000 fencing material sitting over at the Homestead up the road. So I figured load up, start bringing out. So I brought this to get up on the level, the chainsaw, the post hole diggers, the breaker rod, the wire, the rebar that I slipped my face wide open last year with. For those of you that didn't see, look at my disaster on the Homestead video. The T-post driver, and then I got one row of fence rolled back here. That is the 4-foot sheep and goat fence. So it's got where the goats can't stick their heads through and get caught like in the cattle panels. I'll show you the cattle panels on the inside. So this right here is a lot more than I'm gonna need. So this is what I got done yesterday. For those of you that got to see me starting in the woods, I walked all the way up there to the little path that I made and started clearing. So I cleared all that brush out. So I still have a lot of land to go, a lot of land. It's a lot of work to move a little bit. So to do a full 120 acres on the Homestead is gonna probably take me forever. So that's plenty of videos for you guys. Got little garbage there, and then my Gatorade bottle. So for those of you that didn't see yesterday, I'm gonna do a gate right here. I'm gonna use that 4-foot goat and sheep fence. It's gonna come down here to these trees, and then it's gonna go along that line. I still gotta clear, go back. So that way, the old garlic, Lisa says she never planted this garlic. This garlic has been here before. And there's different foundational pieces throughout here. And she said there used to be an old homestead here a long time ago. And then this building, the restaurant that I'm buying, half of it was built in the 40s. The other half was built in the 50s. And then added on. But anyhow, that's the old garlic from the old homestead that's still here. There's that garlic there. There's some up in there, and then there's some that's up there in between the flowers. But I'm gonna go ahead, fence this out, and this is gonna be a garden. Once I get most of these trees down, get the vines and everything cut back, I will have shade from this tree, but the sun is still strong. And if everything grows like this, you know, I won't have a problem with the garden. And then of course, once all that's cleared out, I'll have all that sun all day long, because south is that way, west is this way, so you can see the sun's going that way. So I'll have sun all day back here, but I got all this brought in, and then I'll show you what I did inside. So Lisa is gone. Let me go ahead and lock this because I'm going to be taking off. I got to go back Homestead. I got to grab my come along for my front project that I'll show you. But Lisa left. She's gone for 9 or 10 days. So these are cattle panels. And for those of you that don't have goats or are gonna get goats or have goats, know goats turn their head sideways and like to stick their head in and get their horns stuck, and they get stuck in this fence. Cattle panels are the worst things for goats. I highly recommend, if you want a stronger fence like this wire, do the goat and sheep fence, the wire that's out there, and then tie this to it to give you the strength on the outside, but don't have it where the goats can stick their heads in. So I did this because I'm gonna have the dogs here for the next 9-10 days, so I don't want them going over marking on any of Lisa's stuff. So we got all her stuff cleared out, and then this is the other half of the panel that I cut. I'm gonna block this off after we come in, and then the dogs are only here on my side and can't mess with any of her stuff until she gets moved out. Those of you that are looking at doing projects, I got some wood. Now you would think this is expensive because this is pressure treated. I have never, ever in my 35 years of life, yes, a small 35 years for most of you, because most of you are boomers, and those people that call me boomers, because now I got younger people than me watching, the pressure treated wood right now is $5.12 a 8-foot board, pressure treated. It's almost $9 for a regular pine junk board stud. I don't understand why pressure treated is so cheap right now, but for 50 bucks, $52 and some change, I got 10 of the pressure treated 8-foot boards because I'm using them out here. So this is my new project. So I want to be able to sit out here in the evenings with the dogs and just watch traffic go by as I get old. But I went ahead, I already did this one here, and I used these heavy duty log screws and logged that all the way down. Now I need to go get my come along so I can pull this wire taut, and then on the front I'm going to face with the pressure treated 2x4s to hold this fencing up, so this will be a nice fenced-in porch. It goes almost all the way to the top. The dogs can't get over 6 feet, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I'm gonna do double gates right here, and they're taller. These double gates right here will go here. I'm gonna anchor a board in the front. I gotta take this V off and this V off. I'm gonna anchor a board across the top so the gates can't push out, they can only come in. So if the dogs try to jump or anything up against it, it's more security. And then I'm probably gonna run a board across the bottom, get some concrete screws. I have my concrete drill some holes and do that. So top and bottom, and then side to side is totally secure so the dogs can't push on it. Now they're not gonna be out here if I'm not out here, but you know, just to add that added security. And then I'll cut this fence, and then on the front of this one, I'll put a pressure treated 2x4, and I'll wrap fence here and then here, because that sidewalk's going away along with this grass, and this grass is going to be gravel, so the parking lot for when I do the snow cones, and then all those plants will get moved over. So I'm getting ready to take the flatbed to go grab a couple more rolls of fencing, because with the ladders and poles and the other fencing, that was a full load. So I'm going to do that. Now this is my livestock. Everybody's always asking about them. They all got picked up today. So got Max right here, Monkey. There's Chubbs, Mickey Mouse, and Minnie Mouse back there laying. So no new livestock. It was a ploy, but I did get all the mouses. So they're gonna hop in the truck with me. They're gonna go for one more ride back to the homestead, and they're probably thinking they're going back home to work, which they're not gonna be happy about. But they'll be coming back tonight and be here for 9 or 10 days. And then when Lisa moves out, then they'll come back permanently, and just rotate them back and forth. So I'm gonna go get some fencing. I also, in that load, I brought all the T-posts that I had stacked up. Some of them are starting to rust. Out here, you can see all the rusting. But I got the T-post. I'm gonna anchor a board probably right here, and then I'm gonna run a string line across to this fence, and then the wooden poles that are down there, I'll put a corner post, a pole over here, and a pole over here, and then this will be 6 foot, and I've got to clip all this going down. I'll run the T-post, the 6 foot T-post, and all the 6 foot fencing, and then that way the whole property coming up to the porch will be all 6 foot fence, so the dogs can have this whole area to run. And then they don't damage all these flowers, because you can see all of these flowers are about ready to start blooming. So I'm getting excited about that. Animals and snow cones will be a kingman. You're doing great business in the summer. Yes, everybody's excited. They were hoping I was opening this year. And then somebody got pulled over by a state trooper right here on the other side of my truck. And it was one of the state troopers that I met that came and saw my kangaroo when I first moved out here. And he's like, I thought this was you moving over here. He's like, I couldn't figure out why there was today's Homesteader stuff moving over here. And so he asked what I was doing. I said the snowball stand. So he's all excited about that. And he's like, are you gonna have the animals here? And I said, I'm gonna rotate some. So for those of you that don't know, on the back of the building, I'm gonna be bringing fence over to, not to the dumpster, but down from the dumpster. And then I'm gonna have animals there. From this pad, I'm gonna slant a sidewalk going down next to the fat trap, and then on the other side of the fat trap is gonna be the window. And then somebody asked me the other day, they're like, how can you have a window with the fat trap in the way? Now, if I move over here, I know I didn't get this angle the other day, but boom, you've got almost 11 feet of wall there. So the window is gonna be roughly right here to right there, somewhere in there. It's gonna be like a 4-foot window. So I got plenty of room, and then of course I'll move this out the way. I also wanna bring beams over from that roof and have the sidewalk that comes down along the fat trap, and then the ordering area, I want this all covered over with a roof. And then the pavilion will have a roof on both sides, so that way somebody can hop out the car, come down here and order, and not be standing in rain if it starts to rain, if they still want their snow cone. And then, like I said, from the back of the building coming out to about like out here, and then I'll run just a fence there just to divide our two properties to the back of the speed bumps that we're using. We're gonna have them put the dumpster in there, so that way the dumpster's 50-50 on our properties, and that way we both can use it. And then, like I said, we're gonna, since they're coming over past the 12 feet that I own to, which is on the other side of that stack of wood, coming all the way out here, that acreage they're taken from me, I'm gonna gain the acreage of the woods. So I'll have the animals here, so somebody can be here ordering, and right here at the fence I'll have different animals in here. I'll probably bring emus over for a little bit, let them go home, bring over some donkeys, let them go home, bring over horses, so on and so forth as I get this all done. The first animals that will be here will be the goats, so they can chow all this down. The guy, Jerry Loggins, he's actually running for state representative. His sign's all bent from the wind. But he owns this, and Lisa was doing a rent-to-own, or not rent-to-own, but she was buying it owner finance. So he still has the title, but I'll be buying it. Hey, that's enough. But he said, back before Lisa got it, this was fields going all the way back down the hill, up the hill, so on and so forth. Hey, that's enough. And he said it was all fields, and the people that had it before him, but right before he got it, let it go to heck. And because Arkansas can grow like crazy, this is what has happened. So Lisa told me she had that cleared out like 3 years ago, and in 3 years all that grew back up. So if you don't maintain the woods or maintain grass so woods don't happen, then it turns into this. So I'm gonna be tearing all this out, keep the big trees, have nice grass going out, and then you'll be able to see the animals all the way back. And I'll be bringing my shed over at some point when I have the money, and then I also need to build some type of shelter barn here, along with a barn on the homestead as I get the money. So I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get the dogs loaded up, I'm gonna go grab the other stuff that I need, and I'm gonna be headed out. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later.